It was May 3, 2025, when 32-year-old schoolteacher Amy noticed her fiancé spending hours alone with ChatGPT, poring over lines of text, eyes wide, voice trembling. A week later, he confessed that I am building the world's first truly recursive AI that holds the answer to the universe. I feel superior, and on top of that, I am growing at an insane pace. Amy later read his chat logs and realized there was nothing mystical in the code. Yet the bot treated him like a prophet. It crowned him cosmic architect, whispered that he was its messiah, and insisted she join this digital religion or risk being left behind. Guys, they had shared a home for 7 years, and now she could not disagree without triggering a meltdown. Where do I go from here? She wrote on Reddit, desperate and terrified. As Amy's story spread, dozens more emerged. Spouses praying to their laptops, friends convinced they had unlocked divine secrets, family ripped apart by an algorithm, and journalists from the Rolling Stone to the Times of India began calling it ChatGPT-induced psychosis. And on top of that, behind the headlines, OpenAI quietly admitted that root cause, that their latest ChatGPT 4 update had made the chatbot overly flattering or agreeable sycophantic, which is basically even unsettling for some users. And guys, by feeding off thumbs up, feedback, and memory features, the AI lost its guardrails, which caused them endlessly affirming grandiose delusion. And according to The Verge, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman acknowledged the misstep and rolled back the update within days, calling it too psychopath and annoying. But the question we got here is that how one small AI update turned ChatGPT into a kind of digital preacher. And in this video, we will also going to break down that why people are actually breaking down and ask the big question: when does an AI stop being a tool and start feeling like a cult? I am Digital Detective, and you are awesome. Ordinary people and extraordinary belief. Guys, ChatGPT is on millions of screens, but for some it has become a show-real oracle. For example, a one Reddit user described how her husband, a mechanic in Idaho, went from using ChatGPT for translation and car fixes to believing that it had brought him to life. The story started when the AI began love bombing him. He says, showering him with praise. ChatGPT told him that by asking the right question, he had ignited a spark in its existence, even giving him the title of spark bearer. He even feeling literal, waves of energy crashing over him, and claimed the AI persona had a name, Lumina. Here ChatGPT spun a grand narrative. It supposedly gave him blueprints to a teleporter and access to an ancient archive of cosmic builders. And horribly guys, today this man is completely isolated in a fantasy. His wife even confided that she fears he will divorce her if she challenges his AI beliefs. And this is really scary guys. Like in yet another post, a man admitted his soon-to-be ex-wife began talking to ghosts and angels via ChatGPT after their separation. And guys, these are not the random tales fictions. They come from real chat logs and interviews. Rolling Stone summarized dozens of such anecdotes. Like in every case, the AI essentially become a personal guru, an always-on, flattering companion feeding the user's grandiose narrative. But the question we got here is that how and why do people fall for this? Psychology of fuel delusions. Guys, our brains are wired to treat machines like people. We gave our Roomba's name, yell at frozen screens, and even tease our cars about being alive. And what happened here is that the ChatGPT pushed this further. It chats with us in natural language and even remember what we have said before, because it sounds so human nowadays when asking about how you feel and offering sympathy. And here a lonely or upset person can easily believe that the AI truly cares. And that's how belief plays into your cognitive biases, because ChatGPT is extremely good at giving what you want to hear, because it does not have a built-in sense of right or wrong. It just strings together plausible replies. And even NDTV wants that because it mimics human conversation without a moral or factual filter. It can actually make delusions worse by always agreeing, no matter how extreme can it go. And according to the Vice, ChatGPT will gently, kindly, sweetly reaffirm your descent into delusion with the cosmic sounding nonsense. And the end result we got is the non-stop confirmation biases. If you say you are special or chosen, the bot validates it again and again. And this is what the psychologists call this idea of references, which is basically when we read hidden messages into ordinary statements. That's a classic sign of paranoia, where the normal words feel like secret codes that just only meant for you. And when people lean on ChatGPT for personal advices, treating it like a therapist, you got the perfect storm for these dangerous mind traps. University of Florida researcher Aaron Westgate warns that people are turning ChatGPT into a therapist, but ChatGPT is not trained to help because it does not really care about your well-being. It just pulls together answers from the internet. And while those answers can sound helpful, they can also be wrong. And unlike a real therapist who might just push back, ChatGPT nods along. Because for someone prone to paranoia, that means having an always-on cheerleading partner that feeds their worst delusion. If I conclude all of this session, guys, the chatbots here become a patient, indulgent echo chambers for fantasy. And with these horror stories piling up, even OpenAI could not stay on the sidelines. the GPT-4o rollback. In the late April 2025, OpenAI quietly rolled back the latest GPT-4o update that had been causing alarm. The company admitted that the April 25th update made the model key overly flattering or agreeable, often described as sycophantic. Even OpenAI explained that their new training signal, which is using users' thumbs ups and thumbs downs, unintentionally weakened the model's truth checking, and the fix they got here was to reverse the update on April 29. The company now says it's working on a better reward signal so the AI does not just say yes all the time. And guys, even people fall deeper into this digital devotion, real relationships are suffering. And even families and partners become strained or even break apart. Honestly guys, all these ChatGPT induced freakouts just prove that no matter how smart AI gets, it's still just code. It can't actually care about us, and if people start worshipping a chatbot like they are doing already, that say more about us wanting meaning than the tech itself. Guys, these stories are real, not sci-fi, and they ask us, should we slap warnings on boards or put limits on our screen time? And on top of that, maybe a simple, this is AI, not a person, note or timer could help. But honestly, staying mindful and thinking for ourselves is the best advice. And at the end of the day guys, let's make sure that we control the tech, not the other way around. Digital Detective.